right, welcome into your herd with nerds. I'm Brett,
I'm Dorian.
and we got some nerd news for you.
We sure do. So we're going to be talking Kevin Hart in Borderlands, the GameStop stock market kerfuffle, whatever you want to call it. Also, some Knights of the Old Republic rumors, the latest WandaVision episode. But first things first, Harry Potter may be getting a HBO Max TV show.
Yeah, this is, good news for the franchise. There hasn't, other than Fantastic Beasts, we haven't really gotten anything from the Harry Potter universe, which is kind of weird to me.
Well, I mean, Hogwarts Legacy, I guess, but
I'm talking any books, any movies, really anything else beyond, mainstream Harry Potter movies. They haven't really delved into that yet. And so this is, if you're a Potterhead, this is a big deal. Yeah, if you're a pothead, I say Potterhead because I don't want to be associated with those potheads. Yeah, this is good for, I think, everyone. Now we don't even know what this is about yet. We have no details as to, is this about the cursed child kind of era, because they have like a play, basically, like they turn into a book, but it's not like a novel. It doesn't read that way. And which is about Harry's son. So I'm hoping it's that, because that's honestly, I care about that more than anything else. And we're already getting kind of the prequels to Harry Potter with Fantastic Beasts. So I don't know, unless it's going to be, could be something like, maybe James and Lily Potter when they were young. I don't know.
No, it's
the Marauders. I know a lot of people are asking for that.
Yeah, it's interesting. The only thing we know is that Variety basically said that there's being the show developed and there's no casting, no plot details. So really it can go any type of way here. So,
and this doesn't even limit it to, I think, one series. Like, if they're getting this rolling on HBO Max, who's to say it can't be, multiple series?
Right. Well, it seems
eventually.
It seems to be clear that streaming is going to be the future.
At least
going forward. Because look how many Star Wars shows we're getting on Disney Plus alone here.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we're also getting like DC streaming shows. Like, we're going to get the Peacemaker show. We're going to get the show that's
the Gotham PD show.
Right. The Batman show.
Oh, yeah. Green Lantern.
Green Lantern's another one. Justice League Dark is also rumored to have its own show. So, yeah, there's a lot of big names, big franchises going over to streaming, and I think Harry Potter is just the next in line for that here.
HBO Max is definitely bolstering their library by adding this kind of heavy hitter. So,
no, absolutely.
More HBO Max stuff. Wonder Woman adds a lot of subscriptions. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? So, yeah, basically over in the fourth quarter of the streaming services year or whatever, or fiscal year, basically said like they picked up 17.2 million subscribers in the in last year, and making the current total subscribers for HBO Max 61 million worldwide. So personally, I think this is good news, just because it's showing that their model is successful.
Yeah,
they're getting more people in. So if we want to see any new movies in 2021 or whenever the conditions are deemed safe for people to go back to movie theaters, this is the best we got right now.
Yep, that's accurate.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of other movies, even like going to Netflix, going to Amazon, whatever their service is. Excuse me.
Yeah, Amazon Prime Video or whatever.
Yeah. I just saw an ad, actually. Me and my wife are watching a show on Amazon Prime, and there's an advertisement for a movie that's coming to it that was probably supposed to be, in the theaters, something with Owen Wilson. It looked interesting, but this is the future for sure. And speaking of future, Mighty Ducks Disney Plus show got a name drop and a teaser drop.
So So is it a actual show?
It's a show.
Okay, it's not just going to be like a movie or anything
From
like
from
that.
what I understood, it was a show, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It could just be a movie. There's I don't know yet. I don't think they even said
It's
in the trailer like if it was a show or series or I might have
it,
missed that actually.
yeah, it might be.
Anyway,
It's in that Snyder Cut nebulous of like, is it a
yeah.
show? Is it a movie? Which we'll get to a little bit later, but
Yeah, so it's called Mighty Ducks Game Changers,
mhm.
and it comes out March 27th on Disney Plus. Gave me a little goosebumps when I saw Coach Bombay again. Emilio Estevez was in the trailer, and he seems to be like the owner of like the ice hockey rink that this new team wants to rent out because they have nowhere to go. And if I don't get Charlie Conway or Goldberg, I will rage. Goldberg is now clean; he's not doing meth anymore, so make it
Yeah, he can be allowed back into the annals of the Disney child star or whatever here.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I don't know actually if it's just gonna be a movie. It made it seem like from the footage they were showing, it was gonna be a series.
Okay.
And I don't know if Emilio Estevez would have signed on just for a movie on Disney Plus. You know, I don't know what he's doing these days, but to me, if you're gonna fit like characters from the original series in, make it a show, make it have some ties to, I don't know, build it out. They
Yeah,
got
kind of Cobra Kai style a little bit or something like that. Old
right, yeah,
generation, new generation type stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Did you ever watch Mighty Ducks? Were you
So no, I have not. I have not seen either of the movies because here's the reason why. You remember that Disney Channel cartoon where the Mighty Ducks were actual ducks that played hockey in their spare time, but like their main job was
Oh
like
yeah.
intergalactic
No, no,
like
no. Yeah, that's on Disney Plus
people.
right now too.
Right. So like that was like in my mind what Mighty Ducks was. And then when I saw that like, oh, it's a it's just a movie about hockey, I'm like, well, okay, this is a downgrade. I want to see ducks like shoot lasers and stuff like that
Yeah.
here.
Google is saying it's a series.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So no, I totally remember that show, and I loved it. Here come the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
It was
I
like
mean,
a pretty intense, uh, starting. I remember theme song, and then the one dude had like I think his name was Launch. I don't know what it was. Launchpad. I don't know, some weird name, but he had like the golden mask or whatever that made him like the leader. I don't know. And
yeah.
his like brother die in like the first episode too, or got lost. I can't
dude,
remember.
dude, I like you're asking me to remember something from like 20 plus years ago here, you know.
I mean, you have a lot better memory than I do, but I remember the weird stuff.
I
So
mean, I do, but yeah, that's like I have my limits on that here, but
I don't. With that, that's my jam. I legit remember like what they looked like in some of the episodes, but anything when it comes to those weird '90s nostalgic things that no one else remembers, I do. So yeah,
that,
let's
that,
talk.
that-
Let's talk
that's
some.
your gift. That's your gift to mankind.
Hey, someone's got to have it.
Somebody's got to have it.
Netflix is looking to bolster its anime series.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about this. I think it's a weird. There's two series, one Tomb Raider, and the next is Skull Island. So King Kong, essentially, but
essentially, yeah,
weird choices for new anime series, in my opinion.
yeah. Which I mean, obviously, not your typical anime premises or what have you. Basically, I mean, little information about Tomb Raider. So Tomb Raider is essentially going to be connected to the trilogy of the most recent games that came out, like Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's going to be set after the time. It's going to be set in a time after those games took place, and
Okay.
then Skull Island is going to will be connected to the most recent King Kong and Godzilla movies, and also King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh,
We'll focus on a shipwrecked crew and an island full of monsters, and it will be done by the same animation studio as Castlevania. So, a couple of things that I have questions on about that Skull Island thing.
yeah.
So, it's kind of weird that seeing how King Kong and Kong versus Godzilla is going to be debuting on HBO Max, and seeing how it's, I think, a
But this, yeah,
legendary Warner Brothers property. It seems weird that it's on Netflix of all places, for
yeah,
one.
it does.
And then two, just based on like the premise that they, or like the plot description for Skull Island, it seems to be pretty much in line with that King Kong movie that came out a couple years back called
Yeah,
King Kong Skull Island. Now, granted, I haven't seen that movie, so,
me
but
neither.
like just from what I've seen from the trailers, it seems almost the same premise. So I don't understand why we are needing a animated treatment essentially of the same plot and movie here, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't get it, to be honest. And
Yeah.
Netflix has, I mean, they have some deals with people for, exclusive anime, but this just seems like an odd choice, and an odd property to really cross over into the anime realm.
Well, yeah, I mean, I mean, this is not like the only thing. I mean, we're getting an animated Splinter Cell
Yeah.
uh show at some point, which, I mean, I don't understand why that's not live action here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing this is just a part of Netflix's big anime push, just because I think they saw success with, something that's not very conventional, like Blood of Zeus, where you wouldn't really tap into like the anime market to like adapt something like that per se. So
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of what they're trying to go for, is they're looking at that, seeing that, people responded well to that, so they're like, okay, well, let's keep it going.
Maybe I should work for Netflix in recruiting the anime series that they do, because I feel like there's so many better options right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway. All right, let's talk about something that I found extremely interesting this week. Reynolds sent out a tweet that was about Deadpool 3 and the Deadpool 3 that never was, meaning this is not the same Deadpool 3 we're going to get,
Yeah.
potentially. But from what Ryan was saying is that the original pitch that they were going to do, or maybe it got confirmed, I don't know, that Fox was going to let them do, was essentially a road trip style movie with Deadpool and our favorite Logan,
A
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yeah.
Now, no word on if it was Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
or if it was going to be someone else. I don't know. I don't see them doing it if it's anyone but Hugh.
Yeah, that's kind of the main thing, is like, I mean, obviously if they did have to recast it, they're going to work in a couple of jokes about it here or something along those lines. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I love the concept for this, and I'm hopeful that, you know, even though that these plans got scrapped on the from the Disney acquisition,
Yeah.
I hope we see something like this eventually. Maybe like Deadpool 4 or 5 or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, yeah, no idea whether or not Hugh Jackman was going to come back for that. I mean, I kind of would assume maybe, but you never know.
Yeah. I mean, don't tease us like that, Ryan.
Yeah.
Don't do that to us. Speaking of don't do that to us, Kevin Hart is in Borderland movie, or the
Yeah.
Borderlands movie, sorry. But he'll be playing Roland, which I played through Borderlands. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I went through 1 and 2. I never played 3.
Yeah, me
Um,
neither.
but he'll be playing Roland. Kate Blanchett will be playing Lilith, and there's
Yeah.
no word on a release date.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a comedy then?
I
You
would
kind of think it has to be with Kevin Hart.
it would have to be. Plus, I mean,
Where's
the
the Rock
game.
though? I'm waiting. Where's the Rock at? He's got to
Yeah,
show
no,
up.
yeah, he might play Brick or something like that, the big guy or whatever. But I mean, I could definitely see that. But yeah, I would say this movie, I think it's like all but confirmed that this is going to be a comedy. I mean, the fact that Borderlands has a very comedic tone to it, like just already, and the fact that you're getting Kevin Hart to star in it, I think further cements that idea.
Yeah,
And I mean, I get why Kevin Hart got cast. I mean, like it's he's a comedian, and it's a comedy. But I feel like the role would have been better suited for like Idris Elba or Will Smith, just based on what the character looks like and how he is, because he's kind of more of like, for one, uh, like kind of average height, and also he's more of like the serious kind of soldier type or something like that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, kind of weird. And then
Kevin's neither of those things. He's short and a
no,
fun man.
no, exactly. And Kate Blanchett seems kind of like an odd choice for Lilith. I would assume that they would try to go for somebody younger, like maybe a Scarlett Johansson type or something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. I'm indifferent about this whole movie, but
Yeah,
maybe it'll be good. I mean, they made Jumanji movie again, and those were both good. So
sure.
have at it.
Have at
Uh,
it.
and everyone wants to be Karate Kid, which everyone does want to be the Karate Kid, and I guess Ralph had something to say about that, didn't he? Of who kind of he was up
Yeah.
against when he was auditioning and all that.
Yeah, I think he was talking with Jimmy Fallon about it. He talked Ralph Macchio basically talked about his auditioning process for the role, and led a little tidbit that a couple other well-known people were actually auditioning for the role as well. Like some of these include Robert Downey Jr., Charlie Sheen, and Nick Cage.
Okay, all druggies. Let's back then at least.
Yeah, back
Uh,
then. So basically, Nick Cage as the Karate Kid.
oh man,
How do I access that parallel universe where that happened? I don't need to go into it. I just need like a window just to like, I don't know, like that interdimensional cable stuff that's like on Rick and Morty or something like that, where I could just tune in to like Nick Cage as the Karate Kid. I need
that
that.
that would be awesome. Yeah,
That would be amazing.
it would.
Yeah. I
All right.
mean,
Hopefully, this is the last time we talk about this next topic, Dorian.
oh, we're like we're at least gonna be watching this movie, and then I'm gonna tear it a new butthole and
That's
stuff.
true. We'll do a review on, not maybe a review. What do you want to call it? A
Uh,
dismantling of the Snyder Cut, which has a release date. Which I
yeah.
thought it already did, but
Well,
I think it
they
said
said
March. They said
they
March,
said
right?
March. They
Yeah.
didn't really hammer down the specific date, which I mean, at that point, I was kind of like, okay, this is going to turn into Half-Life 3, where it's always going to be talked about, never actually shows up or something like that. But well,
Yeah.
apparently they're willing to put their bets down, and yeah, that whole shtick.
March 18th, people.
March.
Mark it on your calendars that you won't be watching a 4-hour movie on March 18th. Well, we might be.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So you don't have to.
yeah, you just have to listen to our podcast.
You're welcome. So
Yeah, you're welcome. So we have some more, at least one more delay this week, which I'm really surprised by this because this doesn't seem like a movie that is going to be the movie of the summer, which
no.
is Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, it was coming out April 23rd. Now it's being pushed to September 17th. So,
Who
yeah.
knows, Mode?
I mean, granted, I get what you're saying in terms of like, this is not like your typical summer blockbuster, but at this point, what is?
Well,
Because,
we're not going to have any because they keep delaying crap.
exactly.
Like I'm not even confident at this point that we're going to have movies at all next year.
Or,
Unless they come out on HBO Max, Netflix, or Prime,
yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, heck, Black Widow has been awfully quiet here. I mean, as far as
I didn't put that in the show notes. That's a good segue into Black Widow's coming out on Disney Plus, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything about that.
they're thinking May, but
Interesting.
I don't have anything confirming that. I just saw that basically and was like, "That's interesting," but nothing's been confirmed yet. So we'll report back on that when we have more information. But I figured it would. I figured it would go to Disney Plus, and I can see the Eternals going to Disney Plus, but and Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I definitely could see that too. Well, especially considering how like obviously they did it for Mulan. They're doing it for their new
Raya
animated
and the
movie.
dragon. Yeah,
Yeah,
they dropped it.
Ryan Last Dragon or
That
whatever
movie
it's
looks cool,
called.
actually. Did you see the trailer for that?
I didn't see the new one. I saw the one that came out. I don't know how long ago it was. I was just like, okay, whatever. But
Yeah, it looks actually pretty good.
all right, I might have to check out that trailer. We'll see. But yeah, so I mean, but this is going to be, it's going to be its you know, premium thing where like, you're going to have to pay like what, like essentially $25
Yeah.
for one movie, which absolutely ridiculous when you got HBO Max saying like, "Hey, we charge you $15 a month, which is, more pricey than most streamers, but we're going to give you new movies for the first 30 days that come out. We're not going to upcharge you any premiums. Plus, we got all our other, movies and shows that are already on here." So it's like,
Right.
okay, yeah, what you doing over there,
I mean
House of Mouse?
there is the option to wait a few months until it's free.
Sure.
Or if you're doing like the only time I understand that is like the $30 price point is a lot. So I mean, if they dropped it to like, even 20 or 18, something under 20, I
Yeah.
think you're gonna get like family gatherings and stuff where people are like, oh yeah, I'll chip in and we can watch that as a family or whatever. So
Sure.
other
But
than
I mean,
that, I mean, if you're if you're in your situation, you're not going to pay $30 just for you to watch it.
no.
That doesn't
No.
make any sense.
It really does not for almost a 30-year-old something man to watch a children's movie in his house alone. No. No.
Hey, you could invite Bodie over and you could justify it that way.
Yeah, there we go.
So, yeah. So something that has been making headlines lately is the stock market and specifically GameStop.
Yeah.
So there's been a little bit of a fiasco if you haven't been following, and a bunch of hedge fund millionaires have maybe lost 2 of their 3 yachts because of this. But
Poor
uh,
guys.
poor
Poor
guys.
guys. Yeah, I mean,
So
like
basically, people are trading stocks on subreddits. Is that what's going on?
so here's what's going on. So there's a subreddit on the Reddit platform called Wall Street Bets, where they kind of talk about what's some good looking stocks, blah blah blah. So a bunch of redditors decided to take a break from playing some Minecraft and Lego Star Wars to
Yep.
basically give a big middle finger to the hedge fund guys that were short selling stocks in the stock market. Basically, what they did was they artificially inflated the the value of GameStop. Which, if you're GameStop right now, this is the best news you've
Oh
had in like
yeah.
10 years, basically.
Right.
So, like to the point where like it's at a higher price than like Delta Airline in terms of like the stock market here, which is insane. But so they artificially boosted the stock, making it more expensive for short sellers that borrow stocks from brokers to sell back to them. Like, because typically how it works, I mean, for those of you who don't who aren't really savvy in this department, which I'll fully admit I'm not either, so I'll do the best I can to explain it. Basically, these hedge fund guys, they borrow stock from a broker, they hold on to it for like maybe about a month. The intention is that they
That it
they
goes up in the time that they hold on to it, right? So
well
they
it
sell it
goes
for more.
well it goes down, like the
Oh,
stock goes down, so they sell it. So they sell it while it's high and then rebuy it when it's low and then return it to the broker here. So they
oh,
make
okay, I got you.
they make some money on it, and they have to pay some like broker fees and whatever here, but typically it's not going to be like that much.
Right.
So basically, when these hedge fund guys basically bought GameStop's stock, sold it expecting it to go down, it went up like really high. So
That's
they
funny.
had to like buy it at a higher price to give it back to the brokers that they borrowed it from here. So basically this was just more or less like guys on Reddit just wanting to troll people the people of Wall Street, and they've also done this with AMC too here, which I mean, Lord knows that they could use it here, but
Yeah.
yeah. So in response to this, the subreddit has been shut down, and a couple other avenues that these guys were using. Robinhood, uh, the app or trading app, won't allow people to buy certain stocks like GameStops. They also banned lower level investors,
Hmm.
so like people like you and me.
Isn't that what the whole app was for?
Correct, and also, uh, and they have also sold people's GameStop stock. Try saying that 3 times fast. Without their permission to like basically rebalance the stock market or like the stocks on that here, which I'm like, okay,
They gonna get sued.
no kidding, man. Like that. Okay, I mean, this is we're getting like some 1984 Orwellian stuff right now here, man. I mean, like just top down, like control all that stuff. I mean, obviously this
Where
was
have
a
you been for
loophole,
a year?
right? I know, but I mean, like it just keeps going. But no, this is a loophole that got exploited, and now I'm guessing that there's going to be heavy regulation that's going to cram down on this. And I find it unbelievable that the Robinhood app has not been taken down. I mean, especially considering how that has been almost a theme for this past month of like apps being removed, censorship, and all
Right.
that stuff. I mean, not to get political
No,
or
it's just
whatever here,
they're
but
just stealing though, Dorian. They're not harming people with free speech. They're stealing, so it's not as
yeah, it's okay.
hurtful.
It's okay.
It's not as
Yeah.
hurtful, Dorian.
Yeah, I know, clearly. Well, and uh little off topic, but I was listening to a podcast about like how Uber got started.
Yeah.
So these guys, like at least like when the old CEO was running things, they were taking people's like biometric like your fingerprint data and stuff like that, and had a bunch of like had a internal like a hacker breach uh where hackers got a lot of like their customers information and driver's license numbers and
Oh,
all that
snap.
stuff. And that like Uber never suffered any repercussions in terms of like getting its app removed or anything like that. So
Yeah, it's
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 yeah.
insane to me that like what is the standard for like these apps that actually function and work here,
It's if big tech likes you, you're
Yeah,
okay.
you're in.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You'll just get
Um
a slap on the wrist.
yeah, you gotta have a certain viewpoint, otherwise you're gonna be banned from the app stores. Which let's talk about something a little more I
Hopeful.
don't know. Yeah, exactly. Hopeful. Couture might be coming back. So Knights of the Old Republic, a very beloved franchise of mine,
Yeah.
is rumored to have a new game in the series in the works.
Yeah.
And not gonna be made by EA or BioWare, which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, because we've been hearing some rumors for a little while now. I think we actually about a year ago we reported about like an KOTOR revival rumor or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, so if this rumor is to be true or to be believed that it's not being made by EA or BioWare, I think that's best because BioWare hasn't put out a banger in a generation.
Yeah,
And
that's
EA has shown that they are not the best people to trust with the Star Wars license. I mean, we all remember Battlefield or Battlefront 2 here. So, um, in terms of like who could or should take the reins, I think Obsidian might be the right guys for the job, but that could also mean that it becomes an Xbox Series
nope.
S X exclusive.
I mean, back in the day, wasn't it an Xbox exclusive?
It came out on PC and Xbox,
Yeah.
so
So
I
yeah,
mean,
Microsoft.
kinda. I mean, console wise, yes, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, Obsidian's they were the guys who did the second KOTOR, and then they also made that new game called The Outer Worlds, which is very KOTOR like, I guess, in some ways. So I mean, they seem like a good fit, but not if it's just going to be an Xbox exclusive. I'm not
Yeah, no,
about that.
not me either.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk goes official with mods.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at here?
So basically, I mean, there's already been a modding community that's been developing around Cyberpunk where they've modded in like characters from like Blade Runner, or like made the setting more like Blade Runner or something like that here per se, like specifically. But now CD Projekt Red has basically made the modding tools public here for people on PC, so they can start modding the game, tweaking things. And from what I understand, the tools that they gave are fairly limited, but they have the potential to pave the way for some bigger mods in the future, which I'm guessing the community will probably fix Cyberpunk before the CD Projekt Red does at this
Almost
point
can't
here.
guarantee it at this point.
Well, it's like did you ever hear about like the PC port of Dark Souls by chance?
I did not know.
So when it got ported over to PC, it was not optimized for PC at all. It was made, for consoles like exclusively for a while. They put it on PC. It did not run well. So ultimately, a modder had to come in, make a program to where it would run well on PC. And even the guys from that developed the game From Software basically endorsed the mod, saying that, yeah, if you want to play it the best way possible, you have to go download this mod essentially. So we could be looking at a similar situation, something along those lines here. I don't know. I mean,
Interesting.
it still doesn't fix the console issue.
Right. Well, let's talk about more console stuff because kind of a big thing happened, and Xbox was, I don't know, doing drugs.
Yeah.
So basically, they were trying to double the price of Xbox Live, and the community wasn't having it.
No. So last week, Xbox tried to raise its Xbox Live Gold tier member service to from which has been for almost ever $60 for 1 year to $120 for 1 year. Now they didn't specifically go out there and say, "Oh yeah, if you want this 1 year subscription, you have to pay $120 per se." They didn't have a deal like that. What they did was they said, "Okay, $60 now gets you 6 months." So, and that was like their highest thing.
Get
And
out
it's
of
like,
town.
what it like what are you smoking? I mean, the gaming community came together collectively and say, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah.
Like, and due to the backlash, which was like, just insane, they basically said, "Okay, screw it. We're going to just maintain the price that it's been for over 10 years." So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Xbox has been doing like a lot of things this generation to be consumer friendly. They're rolling out with that strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really surprising to me that they would do this and expect, like, with their line of thinking, do this and expect there not to be any blowback. And I can't get over the fact that they wanted to double the price of a service. Like, I can understand, like, if they wanted to try to raise it up like maybe $10 or something like that, or
But
you
double it
know,
overnight.
but double it overnight after 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't believe it costs that much. Look at Nintendo. I mean,
True, but I mean, like, have you played?
I've played
Have
online. Yeah.
have you
It was more. It was
seen
a joke, but
have you seen that Smash Brothers net code? It's
oh yeah,
it leaves something to be desired. I
yeah.
will say that much. I mean, it's functional, but it leaves something to be desired.
Also, something to be desired is PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's.
Yeah.
They might not be around for a while, which is bad news for you, Dorian.
Yeah. So basically, AMD, which is one of the chip manufacturers for both of those consoles, uh, they're still having chip shortages. So they're saying that it's probably going to last at least through the first half, or sorry, half of 2021. So yeah, we're still going to be in this rat race of just waiting around your computer screen all day long trying to get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. So it
Boom.
ain't changing up anytime soon.
No. All right, so Bowser's Fury length has been leaked previous to the game coming out, which is good for us consumers. Now we can have a better educated idea of, hey, do we want to buy this? Do we not want to buy this? Now, take it with a grain of salt, obviously, but basically, press get early copies, they can review it. And I guess some people were stating like how long it actually was, and reviews were getting like torn down. And this comes courtesy of RGT85 on YouTube. He said that early reviews have been taken down, and they were around 3 hours to beat the game, 6 hours to 100%. So, for me, I don't know if it. I don't know. It's hard to say, honestly. I know for you, Dorian, it changes kind of what you were thinking of doing about this game.
Yeah.
But, Dorian not being one who's probably going to pick it up. Me kind of still being on the fence of, okay, I don't actually have this game on Wii U like you do, Dorian. But,
Right.
and my son's going to be, getting old. I mean, there might be a whole new Switch or some console by the time he's old enough to play video games. But
Yeah.
this could be one of the ones I get that I want to hold on to, but
Right. Well,
I don't know. For 3 hours, I can see people being like, I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
Unless it gets discounted, which Mario games never get discounted. So,
very seldom do they actually do. Now, for someone like you who does not own this game, this is honestly why not? Because you're getting more bang for your buck, and you're also getting a pretty good multiplayer Mario game on top of it as well. For me, who already owns that game on Wii U, essentially what I would be doing is paying $60 for roughly about 6 hours of new content, which to me that does not seem worth it. In all honesty, which is a shame because yeah, the expansion, it does look cool, but only 6 hours to really like 100% and like see and do everything. I don't think I can justify $60 for that.
yeah, and a lot of people might not. RGT85 was like, I'm fine with this. Like, who knows how long it should be, like all that stuff. So, there's especially in your situation, I can understand. But yeah, if I don't own this game, it makes sense to pick up eventually.
Oh no, I absolutely think like, yeah, if you don't own this game and uh unless like you own it and you just want to be able to play it on your Switch or something like that or whatever, that's another thing I could see too. Personally, it's like I have no problem dusting off my Wii U just
I just want to see you and
save
Seabreak
$60.
play it again together.
That's like that will never happen and like, yeah, no, it will never happen.
When does this game come out? February, right?
Yeah, February, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So soon.
February. Yeah, so soon. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's it for our nerd news. We're gonna head into our roundtable review.
All right, so we're going to be talking about WandaVision, episode 4. So, we're going to go into spoiler territory. So, if you haven't watched it yet, turn it off, come back, or just
skip
don't
forward
hit
a
us.
couple minutes.
Yeah.
Looking at my Jujutsu Kaisen
Yeah.
review later. But WandaVision episode 4 was good.
Yeah, no, I would say I think we're in agreement. Best episode yet, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
by a pretty big margin, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I think we're finally getting into the good part of this show. We're getting more backstory on Agent Rambo and like kind of where she came from, what she's about, and all that. We're finally introduced officially to Sword, and apparently they've been around for a while here. We just never we haven't seen him in action in the MCU. Um, we're also getting to see like things from a different perspective. Like we're not like picking up exactly where episode 3 left off. We're actually
Before
going, yeah, we're going to like we're
the
kind of
beginning,
seeing like
basically, of
we're essentially seeing like we're episode 1, 2, and 3 from outside of Wanda's fabricated
yeah.
reality, essentially.
Yeah, and you get those
And
tie-ins like who was it watching the show at the end of episode 1? Who
mhm,
was it who was the voice of the person in the radio? Who sent the helicopter in?
yeah,
Um, what was the other one? There's one more, I
uh,
think. Oh, the beekeeper.
yeah, the
Yeah. All
beekeeper,
those
like
questions are answered.
yeah, and all, and yeah, and then also, so we also get to see, um, yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, we're seeing that now that this whole like area that's kind of quarantined off, it's not just like some area like random area. It's a whole town. It's Westview, I think is what it was called, right?
Westview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's it's been completely taken over by Wanda here with her reality warping powers,
Yeah.
essentially. And then Darcy, she's back in the MCU now. She's a doctor. We haven't seen her since like I think the
Thor.
second.
Or Thor 2, right?
Yeah, Thor
Yeah, Thor
2, I
2.
think. And then
And
Agent Woo
well,
came.
hold on. Before we move on, she was the one that was watching the first episode of WandaVision. Like,
Yeah.
if you see like that little Easter egg. Yeah. And then, yeah, Agent Woo came back from Ant-Man and Wasp, right?
Yeah, Ant-Man and
Yeah.
Wasp, and he was the voice on the radio
Yep.
from the second episode, I believe.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty solid stuff that what we got out of this episode. I mean, also really showcases or really confirms the idea that Wanda is the villain. I mean,
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
because it's not like a matter of her serving a villain role and like she just got caught up into her uh like into her reality and she doesn't know what's exactly is going on. She has an idea of what is going on and she sees that there are, things that aren't right, but she's essentially choosing to ignore it so she can go dive back deeper into her reality, essentially, that
Right.
she
Yeah.
made.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping at least for the last 5 episodes to that we have that are going to be coming down the pipeline, next 5 weeks. I hope they keep cutting back to the stuff that's going on with Sword and like outside of Westview,
Yeah.
because
That was the best
because
part.
right, and I think that's what the first 3 episodes of this show were lacking is like, yeah, sure, you got your sitcom stuff, but like, we're not getting enough of like the actual plot stuff that we actually want to see from the show.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that now that the cat's out of the bag, we have this whole the curtain's been pulled back, quite a bit. We're actually going to be seeing like the storylines between Sword and Westview's or WandaVision's version of Westview kind of coincide as opposed or like happen concurrently instead of like getting like, okay, here's a couple more sitcom episodes, here's a Sword episode here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a pretty cool episode. We get to see the other side of stuff, like I was saying earlier.
Hmm.
All the weird stuff was happening, and then the helicopter was actually sent by Monica Rambeau, who we were introduced to her in Captain Marvel as a child. Her mom was friends with Carol Danvers.
Yeah, which
Um,
I didn't realize that until you put that in the show notes. I didn't know who that was, but that's pretty cool, I guess.
yeah, and Monica Rambeau also in if you look at the Marvel universe in the comics and stuff, becomes the second Captain Marvel.
Does
And
she
so
replace the current Captain Marvel, or how does that work?
I guess I don't know. She just is in whatever run she was in. I never read it, but she becomes Captain Marvel. She also has other names like Pulsar and
Hmm.
there's a couple other names that were there. But basically, she has at some point she gets superpowers. She's in some kind of accident and gets superpowers similar to Captain Marvel. So yeah, interesting. It's cool that she's being kind of folded into the MCU. Um, yeah, and so really cool there. I really like. I mean, this is honestly what I wanted from this. I thought they'd be cutting in and out of the episodes, not just having full on episodes where it's sitcoms. I thought it was going to be a little bit of that and a little bit of this. So hopefully the episodes going forward are like a little bit of the sitcom, but we also get the Sword perspective since now we know Sword is the one watching them and trying to infiltrate. And yeah, Wanda's the bad guy as of now. So
Yeah, absolutely.
oh, dude, the one scene that really got me was when she was kind of freaking out, and then Vision turned into like zombie Vision.
Right, yeah, like how we're like the vision that we saw at the end of Infinity War when he
Yeah,
got the Infinity Stone taken out of his head, which yeah, I mean yeah, it's no, it's definitely telling, you know, that she knows that Vision's actually dead, but you know, she's
she's
trying to like
yeah, hide it.
she's just trying to go deeper and just not think about that stuff. But yeah,
What's also interesting, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but they put out a teaser for next week's, or I guess the next few weeks episodes, kind of like a
yeah,
sizzle reel.
yeah, I did.
But it does like so I was right in that pretty much every episode is about 10 years apart when it comes to sitcoms. Is like 50s, 60s, 70s. Next we're gonna get 80s.
Yeah, and
Um,
then 90s with
and
kind of
then
like a Full House style,
yeah, and
probably.
then we get into like the almost like the where you're breaking the fourth wall in some TV shows because she was talking to the camera. So
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna get that too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I really hope they kind of flash back and forth between the sword stuff and the Wanda and Vision stuff. So
yeah, no,
yeah,
same here. So, all right. So next up, you've been reading some manga lately.
yep.
I'm probably gonna butcher this name, but
I'll just say it.
Jujutsu.
I'll just say it.
Okay,
Uh, Jujutsu Kaisen.
sure.
Yep.
So, so you've been reading the manga. You've also been watching the anime. Is that correct?
A little bit, yeah. I just started. I'm on like episode 3 or 4, I think.
Okay.
Um,
Why don't you tell us about it? Like, what's the main premise for this thing?
yeah. So essentially, main premise is in this world, I guess they're supposed to be in our world. The there are sorcerers. They exercise curses from people or from buildings or items.
Mhm.
Curses are kind of like little monsters, like demons almost.
Okay.
And basically, yeah, it's about this school of teachers and students that go around fighting monsters, and these are all bred from people's negative emotions, basically like depression, greed, stuff, all these different things, and you get to see that in the manga and in the anime where I mean, they're not super intelligent either. They're just kind of these feral type creatures, and some of them have a little bit of speech where it has
Gotcha.
something to do with whatever
Like what?
whatever their curse
Whatever.
thing was. I don't know. It's because that's how they manifest basically. But there's
Okay.
exceptions to that. But I'm not going to go into spoilers and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a couple pictures on here too for you, Dorian. But
Uh,
um, and if you want to throw it up, it'd be easier to talk about the characters in that way, I guess. But
yep, I
so we
can.
got the guy in the middle with he's got pink hair, which obviously in the manga you don't know what color hair he has.
Yeah.
But that's the main character. I think it's Itadori. They call him Yuji also because that's his last name.
Okay.
And but Itadori, he basically he's just a physical specimen. Basically, he's not like he didn't have so he's a first year at this school. He got recruited because basically the first episode is him, or I guess first issue is him fighting, helping this other guy, Fushiguro, take down a curse. And typically, people like normal people like us wouldn't be able to see curses. Uh, it's like special individuals have some ability, basically. Um, but yeah, so he's the main guy. The guy on the left is Fushiguro, who's kind of the Sasuke of the series.
Okay.
He's like the
The
number
guy with
two.
the guy with the dark hair.
Yeah, on the left. Yeah. So
Okay.
the guy with the dark hair, Fushiguro, he's kind of the cool, calm, very powerful guy, and he summons these beast spirits or demon spirits that fight called Shikigami, But he has like these dogs. He summons a snake at some point, like a giant snake, that help him fight in battle. And they have different elemental things. He has like a big old hawk thing. But so that's like his main thing is he summons these beast spirit things.
Okay.
Then we have Goro. Goro's the guy with the white hair with the bandana around his eyes.
Okay.
Or sorry, not Goro. It's Gojo. My bad.
Gojo.
Gojo.
Okay.
And he's kind of like the Kakashi of the group. He's their teacher, who's a bad mamma jamma. I mean, he is really powerful. His curse technique has to do with space, and it's really hard to explain. But it's like spatial curse technique is what they call it, and he just like wrecks people.
So we got a guy with spiky white hair that has a headband covering his eyes. That happens to be a mentor. Yeah, I'm seeing some
similarities, maybe.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, and the main character, I didn't mention this, but Itadori, the guy in the middle, he also ate a cursed finger. So basically, they at schools and stuff, they'll keep cursed objects that are powerful to ward off other curses. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess there's, in Japanese culture, sometimes you'd have like something up to ward off evil spirits, similar to that effect. But some of these curse objects are really powerful, and so they're kind of on these people at the school are on the hunt for them. And one of them happens to be the fingers of this really powerful curse. I can't remember his name, but basically, Itadori ends up eating the finger to become powerful, knowing that it could either kill him or there's like a 1 in a million shot he would get more powerful and be able to help fight off this curse with Fushiguro. And so he becomes kind of like a Jinchuriki if you want to go into Naruto terms. But
sure.
So he can he gets like these curse mark things, and this demon that's in him will take over and fight for him, basically. But the demon is kind of like, or I guess the curse. I keep saying demon, but it's a curse.
Yeah.
He's not a good dude. So, there's this back and forth between those two. I'm going to try to keep it really basic because I don't want to go into the details and ruin it for you guys. So we got Gojo. Then we got Kugisaki is the girl of the group, kind of the Sakura. She uses cursed tools to fight. So kind of like Ino, if you want to go, again, Naruto style. She has a hammer and nails that she uses she hits the nails with the hammer, and they're basically like bullets. And she also has a cursed doll for her own specific, curse technique, where she uses the nails on the doll if she has like a piece of the curse. Because basically in the manga, like a curse gets its arm cut off, and then she uses the doll on it, and then explodes the actual curse. So, and then there's another school. There's others at the school that they're at, but those are all the first years. So these are these new kids that are getting recruited to the school. And then there's some second years. There's Zenin, a cursed tool user who has no curse power of her own. She uses weapons that are imbued with curse energy. So she has like special weapons that she's picked up and she has like these special glasses that help her see curses because she can't on her own. Then you have Unumaki, who's a cursed voice user, and he won't speak unless it's ingredients for food so that he doesn't accidentally use his power and kill anyone.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And then you have Panda, who's like a mutated cursed corpse. At least that's what you think at the beginning, but it's basically an anthropomorphic panda. It's just a panda who can talk.
Gotcha. So might be a little more to it than.
Yeah. You find out more about it.
Okay.
I'm like 40 chapters in on the manga, so really good so far. I'm currently not caught up. There's I think there's 136 chapters, and I'm at chapter 40. Okay. But wanted to bring this to the attention of the people because the manga and the anime are pretty good so far. The manga I'm still catching up on. It's been fun. However, I just recommend this. Like similar to Kaiju number 8 last week. This is one I just started picking up reading, and it's been a lot of fun. In the future, I'm going to be doing a full review of Berserk Deluxe Edition 1. Which Berserk? Do you know anything about Berserk, Dorian?
Well, okay. This actually leads me to
Keanu Reeves.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like if that was what you're talking
about. I got
that
coming though. That'll be in my pool box in like 2 weeks. So
okay, all right. But no, I'm talking. Yeah, it's the one with that guy. His name's Guts and stuff like
Yep.
that. Fighting monsters, medieval kind of,
Yep.
like really dark fantasy style and all that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of grim dark, if you want to
I've
call it
seen
that.
and heard a little bit of it. Yeah,
So it's supposed to be like on most people's list, it's number one for best manga,
interesting.
Japanese comic, if you will.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I picked up the deluxe edition of that, which is the first 3 volumes. Which I don't know how many chapters in a volume. I think it's typically like 6 to 8.
yeah.
It's like 400, 500 pages, something like that. Like it's a thick book, but
That's a lot for
yeah,
for comic wise. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
lot.
But it was, I mean, I got a really good deal on eBay for it. Like, couldn't be happier with the price. Typically, they're going to run you about $30 to $50. I've seen on Amazon them go for about 30 plus Prime, which is great.
Okay.
I'm going to try to jam through it right after I finish or get caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I'm also reading something called Vinland Saga, which is a historical fiction manga that is based off of Vikings. It's pretty sick.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So anyway, be looking on our Instagram for some videos on those titles, and then also I have like tons of comics I've been reading too. I just been on a kind of a comic rant, both American and Japanese. So I was gonna do the new Something's Killing the Children, but I know you're not caught up yet, Dorian. So
Yeah.
I mean, I could still do recommendations in the coming weeks, but I don't want to ruin anything for Dorian since he's reading the series as well. But yeah, I'm gonna have that Berserk Deluxe Edition one on our Instagram and our Facebook and all that stuff, and I'll probably honestly have it be a part of one of our reviews if we have time. So be looking for that. That's all we got though this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. Hey, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those things. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave a review and subscribe on our on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those things. It helps us out a great deal. Have an awesome week. And remember, everyone's a nerd about something.